Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss Degree 6 Sem English poem accomplishments and how to write very effective answers so that you can score very well in the examinations. Okay. So before we begin the poem, I would like you to understand the word accomplishments. What do you mean by accomplishments? Accomplishments means anything you do, the deeds, anything you complete successfully. Your endeavors means how you try to do the things and your activities, they are called as accomplishments. Okay, now let's dive into the poem. The question might be like this: is the poem supporting or opposing a division of labor between men and women? Describe the central idea of the poem with the appropriate examples. So the question can be anything like this. So your answer structure should be like this: first, introduction. So the poem Accomplishments deals with gender roles in a humorous manner and highlights the differential expectations for men and women. Gender roles itself tells you that something we are going to talk about men and women. So it deals with gender roles and what is the discrimination or anything, differential expectations from there. Okay, the poem describes how men and women seem to operate in two distinct spheres, while women are naturally expected to take care of the domestic sphere. Men are as naturally expected to participate in the public sphere. So these are the naturally things, mean these are the stereotypes which are prevalent in the society. Women are expected to take care of the family, and then they have to be confined to domestic sphere, and then men can go to public sphere. This is what it's there in the society since a long time. So that's what the poet is going to describe in the poem. About the author, Elizabeth Mertz is a professor at the University of Wisconsin Law School, where she teaches family law courses. She is a leading linguistic and a legal anthropologist and a pioneer in the field of law and language. Anthropologist is the person who studies about human beings or the human life, men and other things. Okay. Her early research focused on language, identity, and politics in Canada. So she focused her research on in Canada. So this is about Elizabeth Mertz, the poetess. If you have any other information, you can also write that, students. She didn't go to school. Her education was completely homeschooling. So she studied everything at home and then she became a pioneer in the field of literature. So any information you have, you can write about the author. Then comes the theme. Before theme, her later research examines the languages of US legal education. So though she was doing her research in Canada, she also focused in the United States of America, the legal education. Then comes the theme. In this poem, a man's role is seen as the provider and protector. So he is the one, nowadays you talk about the lone wolf or the male wolf. Okay, the recent um, uh, definition of man. Okay, so he's a provider and protector, and a woman as the caretaker of both the home and the family. So she is only the caretaker. How much ever educated she is, or how much ever efficient in the other works and all, but first thing is she is the caretaker. While men's contribution to society is celebrated, means they talk about and they celebrate if any achievement is there in on the man's part. At the same way, similarly, women's invisible labor at home goes unacknowledged and unpaid. How much ever she struggles at home in the domestic front, nobody bothers about acknowledging her or paying her. The poem implies that women's success in the public sphere is noticed and remarked upon precisely because it is considered unusual. If at all anything is remarkable on the part of women, even though it has to be noticed, it is noticed as unusual. If man does, it is very common. If woman does, it is very unusual. So that is the theme, students. Now coming to the summary. The poem mentions 13 famous historical figures from prominent fields of literature, philosophy, politics, science, etc., to talk about their accomplishments. And all the 13 are men students. The men's achievements, their accomplishments from these different fields is discussed here. All those mentioned in the poem are men. Who are they? They talk about only the men, okay, who were great champions in their respective fields. These are the fields: literature, philosophy, politics, science, and other fields. Okay, so who are they? We are going to study now in the summary. In the first stanza, the poet is wondering whether Aristotle, Aristotle is a philosopher and an ancient Greek philosopher, and John Milton, he is a poet, okay, are one of the prominent British poets. John Milton is one of the British poets, had toddlers at home to distract them from work. Even if they had children, who took care of them? The women took care of them. And that is the reason these people became very prominent and pioneers in their own fields, Aristotle and John Milton. These are the first example students. So the credit should be given to women, whereas these people have taken the credit. Then comes Dante, an Italian poet, and Shakespeare were mentioned in the second stanza. The poet is asking the same question about their what's disturbing them in between. So even these two also become very famous. But do you find any children? What's means children disturbing them in between? No, they disturb only the mothers. Socrates and Plato, these are also prominent Greek philosophers, were asked whether they had to clean the mess, means the utensils and all, and keep the house very neat, that was created by the children with Play-Doh. Play-Doh is the clay. Students, you all know Play-Doh. Oh, it's a clay. They make toys with them. So they all make a mess. But did they have to clean all that? Their wives might have done it. That's why they became very successful. Then comes the famous Irish statesman Edmund Burke was enquired if he had time to work on his kids' ablution, means washing the kids and all. Did they really have to do that? So he is Edmund Burke. Mertz is thinking whether ancient Greek poet Homer, this is Homer, he's blind students, Homer, and storyteller Aesop, even did they also have children to look after? Then he talks about famous scientist Isaac Newton, biologist Charles Darwin, then influential judges of the Supreme Court of United States, Holmes and Brandeis, were to look after any household work while they were working. Did they have to clean the utensils or make the beds or take care of organizing things or cleaning and all? Did they do it? Surely their wives might have done. That's why they had enough time to become very famous. So in the last stanza, the poet is underlining how difficult it is for women who balance career and family. So here you come across 13 pioneers in various fields, students. At the same time, do you think women are not there? Yes, women pioneers also are there. But how did they struggle? They balance their career and their family work, domestic front. Through the poem, Mertz is praising them for their great perseverance. Perseverance means without losing hopes, continuously putting in efforts. That is perseverance. So this is a virtue which is bestowed upon only women. Okay. So imagine if they had to do all the household work, take care of the children and all, would they really have become these prominent or efficient people in their own fields? So this is the summary, students, about the poem accomplishments. The last one is conclusion. Thus the poem indirectly opposes the division of labor between men and women. So in a very satirical manner, the poet discriminates, means manifests the shows up the discrimination. It deals with gender roles and highlights the differential expectations for mothers and fathers in a humorous manner. The poem compares how men and women seem to operate in two distinct spheres, that is, their career and their personal front. Though the women work double the men, they do not get any recognition from the society. At the same time, men get all the appreciation and recognition from the society for the work they do. The poem also implies that women's success in the public sphere is noticed and remarked upon precisely as an unusual accomplishment. Even if there is any successful woman, it is considered as very unusual. So this is the conclusion, students. Hope you understood. So all of you try to write the answer like this, and you are sure to get complete full marks in your examination. Okay, in the next video we are going to discuss CV writing, both the types, chronological and functional CVs, how to write them. We are going to discuss, students. Okay, thanks for watching. And if this tutorial made sense, please do not hesitate to like, share and subscribe. It means a lot. Your like really plays an important role. I always tell that. Okay, all the best for your exams which are fast approaching. Let's meet up in the next video. Bye bye. Take care, all of you.